Hi, my name's Aaliyah and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about my 5-star predictions. So if you don't know, 5-star predictions are basically the books that I really want to read that I think are going to be absolutely fantastic. They're going to be 5 out of 5 stars. They're going to be some of my new favorites. So I have kind of a long list because I couldn't narrow it down. So we're going with it. So let's just get on into it. So the first one I have is the Muse of Nightmares, which is the second book in the Strange the Dreamer duology, which is a fantasy duology about this guy named Laszlo Strange who discovers a lost library in a magical city called Weep, and it's also about this other girl named Sarai. She has magical powers and she's basically the Muse of Nightmares, and she can control people's dreams and give them terrible nightmares. And I read the first book and I loved it. It was fantastic. But I just never got around to reading the second one because it's kind of a brick, and the first one kind of ended on a cliffhanger with bad things happening to the characters, so I didn't read the second one because I got scared. But I really want to because I think it's going to be really awesome. Also, the audiobooks for these are really fantastic and fun to listen to. They're very mystical and magical. Next, we have The Outlaws, Scarlet and Brown by Jonathan Stroud. So this is by the author who wrote the Lockwood & Co. series, which I really like, and this is a middle grade western. It's about these two kids who are living in a post-apocalyptic version of London where there's monsters and there's outlaws, and it's kind of like the old Wild West, and they're just trying to survive and make a life for themselves. So I think it's going to be really good. I really like Jonathan Stroud's writing. He's very funny and witty, and just the first line of this book is really intriguing, so I'll read it to you just for fun. Ooh, there's also a cute little map too. Oh, there's multiple maps. Okay. That morning, with the dawn hanging wet and pale over the marshes, Scarlett McCain woke up beside 4 dead men. 4! She hadn't realized it had been so many. No wonder she felt stiff. I think that pretty well sums up his writing in general. Just super snarky and funny. But yeah, I think this is going to be really good. And then, I have another one by Jonathan Stroud. I'll put the picture over here. It's called The Lost Grave. It's the last one in the Lockwood & Co. series, and it's about ghosts and this group of kids who are basically ghost hunters in London. And I really like the series. All the other 4 books have been really awesome, and I think it's going to be a good finale. At least I hope it is, otherwise I'm going to be disappointed. But yeah, so I think that one is going to be about kind of taking down some of the adults in society who they thought were good at the beginning of the series, and now they're kind of turning out to be villains with their own agendas. But yeah, I think that one's going to be good. And then also, let's just get into the ghost books. There's going to be a lot of ghost books because I like ghosts. So I also just got Orphe's Ghosts, which is a new one by Justina Ireland, who also wrote Dread Nation. She's a Black author who writes a lot of books centering Black female characters. This is about a little girl named Ophelia who lives in Pittsburgh, and she can talk to ghosts, apparently. So she moves to Pittsburgh, and I think the house that she lives in is haunted, and the ghosts are talking to her, and she's kind of trying to figure out her life there now that she's moved, and that sort of thing. But I just really love this cover. I think it's so cute. And I have Dread Nation also by the same author, and I haven't read that one yet either, so I really want to read both of those, but I think this one is definitely going to be super fun. And then some other ghost books. So there's also White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson that is coming out soon, and I think that's going to be really good. I've heard it's like a mix between Haunting of Hill House and Get Out, so that sounds good. And it's about ghosts in a haunted house, and that's all I really needed to know. Tiffany D. Jackson is a really popular author, and I haven't read any of her stuff yet because her other stuff is more like contemporary, which isn't as much my thing as this one. So I think it's going to be really fun. The cover is really pretty too. And then we also have The Taking of Jake Livingston, which is a debut young adult novel about this guy who goes to this prep school. So it's kind of dark academia. And he's like the only black guy at this mostly white prep school. And he can also talk to ghosts. And at this school, there's this ghost of a student who died there who is talking to him and kind of like harassing him. So that one sounds really interesting. It was supposed to come out earlier, but the date got pushed back because of COVID. So anyways, that one's supposed to come out soon too, and I think it's going to be really good. And then we also have Wilder Girls by Rory Power. So this is a young adult horror novel about these girls who were stuck on this island, and there's kind of a plague on this island, and so all of the girls are being affected by this plague, and it's giving them really like grotesque things on their bodies. Like this girl, she's like kind of sprouting flowers, and there's another girl where she has like scales and stuff. They just have like really strange things going on, and the people on the mainland are trying to send supplies to this island and trying to figure out a cure for this plague, and it's just not really working. And the girls may not be alone on the island. There's a lot of spooky things going on. So yeah, I read the first few pages of this a while ago and I really liked it, but I just got busy and never ended up finishing it. So I think it's going to be really awesome. Rory Power, she kind of has a unique writing style that I really like. And she also wrote Burn Our Bodies Down, which was 5 stars. So I think her writing is really promising. She also has another book coming out, I think later this year as well. I think that one's about like, I don't know, something related to like ice, like a winter horror, I think. Anyways, yeah. And then I also think Sorrowland by River Solomon is going to be 5 stars. This has been super popular lately. Everybody's been giving it 5 stars and loving it. It's about this lady who's pregnant and she's a part of a cult, and she runs away from the cult and ends up giving birth to twins in the woods. And then she kind of has to figure out what is going on with this cult, and I think she's like trying to take them down. But yeah, this cover is pretty cool too. I've heard this is really dark and kind of hard to read at times, but is also like a really poignant story. So I'm excited to get to that. We also have this one, The Bad Muslim Discount, and I've been reading this one at work on audio, and the audiobook is really good as well. This is about these two, mainly these two people, Anvar and then, what is this girl's name? I think it's like Safwa. Her name's Safwa. But they're both from Muslim families, and they end up moving to the US because there's a lot of like rebellion and issues going on in their home countries. So they immigrate to the US, and it's about them kind of building their lives in the US and the culture change and how it affects their families and that sort of thing. But it's also really funny and snarky, and I really like Syed and Masood's writing style. It's just really fun and easy to get into. So yeah, it's kind of a thicker book, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to get through on audio. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm only like a few hours in though, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that's going to be 5 stars. I really want to check out a couple other books by this author. I know he also has a middle grade book that's out, and then I think he has another adult book coming out later this year that's kind of like Bollywood related, which looks pretty cool. And then, oh, I also wanted to mention Blackwater Sister, which is a new one that just came out. I've been looking for this at bookstores and I haven't found a single bookstore that has it yet, which is kind of weird. It's about this girl who's living in the States and she runs out of money, and so she moves back to Malaysia where she's from, and she realizes when she gets there that things are kind of strange, and she thinks that she's hearing a voice in her head that might be the voice of her dead grandma, who lived in Malaysia. So it's kind of a ghost story. I've heard that it's also fantasy and it's queer and it's supposed to be really funny. She has this like banter with her dead grandma's ghost that she's hearing in her head. But that one sounds really good. So yeah, I think that's all of my 5-star predictions. These are gonna be a good bunch of books, I think. It's interesting that most of them are about ghosts. I've been really into ghost books lately. I think middle grade ghost books are usually what I end up picking up, but some of these young adult ones also sound like they're gonna be pretty interesting. So yeah, those are my 5-star predictions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love it so much if you would like and comment and subscribe to my channel. It makes me feel very happy and appreciated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!